Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to today. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. And I'm here because I want you to have the successes in your life, in your health life, like you're having in all the other areas of your life. I want you to be able to show up consistently and intentionally for those occasions and for those people that are so important, for those dreams that you've been pouring into. Remember, you don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a strategy you can trust, a plan you can follow, and you need the support and determination to show up every single time. Hey, whatever platform you're joining us from, thank you for coming through. And whatever city, state, village, and whatever country you're in right now, I am so glad that you are here in this space. Go ahead, if you're fasting with us, go ahead and drop in the comments. I want you to put me, right? So whether you fasted before, whether you're fasting now, we'll talk about those who are ending right now, or you're fasting in the future this week. If you're fasting this week, go ahead and drop me into the comments so we can say hello and give you a quick shout out. And a special shout out to our accelerator members. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being in this space right now as we are working and as we are in the process of being healthy. You know how we do. We're going to take a look at some numbers here in just a minute. But if you are ending your fast right now, if you're ending your fast right now after 24 hours, after 16 hours, whatever the time frame is, thank you, and kudos to you. Clap it up, okay? Because you have decided that you are doing what you need to do to be healthy. Congratulations to all those who have fasted, who are ending their fast, but special shout out to those who are ending their fast right now. In addition to me, when you put that in the comments, I want you to go ahead and I want you to put the number of hours that you fasted. Okay, so you put me, then put the number of hours that you fasted or that you're planning to fast. I know some of us are still in the fast right now. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some numbers. And what you're going to be seeing here, this is my Freestyle Libre. This is a Libre 3 Plus. And you'll see right in there, that is my blood sugar right now. And I can take my finger and I can run it along this graph right in here. And you'll see what my numbers have been doing over the last 24 or last 12 hours this is. And right in here, and I always talk to people about this right here is the toothpaste effect. You see that? So my numbers right there below 100, and then there's sugar in the toothpaste. So I brush my teeth, and there it is, 100, 100, 101, 105, 108, up to let's see, where did we go? We went up to about 115. Let's see, is that the highest I saw? Yeah, 115 right there. And then, there's a 116 right in here. And then starting coming back down, okay, to where we are right now. So that's over the last 12 hours. For those of you who are using the Dexcom, the Libre, I always say that I love to look at these reports. And these reports help me because I can look at my time in range. And looking at the 90 days, you'll see right there that I'm in range 96% of the time. 4% of my numbers are below 70, and that typically happens when I'm fasting. Okay, and you'll if you've been following me, you see that happening often. And then looking at my average blood sugar, there it is right there. 98 is my average blood sugar. And this is once again 90 days. And right in here, you get to see what my numbers are over the course of the day. Okay, so I love looking at that because it gives me data that I can use to make decisions about what I'm going to do over the course of my day. And then if we get out of this one, and let's go over to my Dexcom. And this is a G7. And you'll see down at the bottom it says replace sensor, and so this sensor is going to go out here in about an hour plus, okay? And so we'll be replacing that. And then looking at this graph as well, my blood sugar right now is 94, and then just kind of running my finger across the graph, and you'll see there, and as you know, this tends to be a little bit higher than what we see on the Libre. And up, let's see, this one got up to, let's see, what was the highest that we saw there? a 140. So we were down in the 100s, and then right about 6:30, 7 o'clock, we went up to 140, and then started climbing or falling to where we are right now. And this one, I love looking at the summary report, because it says that for 90 days, my average blood sugar right now is a 96. Sorry, no, my average blood sugar is a 123. My time in range is 96%, and my glucose management indicator is a 6.3. So 6.3 glucose management indicator, in target 84% of the time, and or 96% of the time, and average 123. Let me go through that again, because I think I said that in the wrong order. So 96% in range, you'll see that there, 96%. Average blood sugar of 123, and a glucose management indicator of 6.3. So the glucose management indicator, that is a surrogate, if you will, for the A1C. We can't call it an A1C because it's a calculated number. We actually get the A1C when we go to get blood drawn, or they do a finger stick in some offices. Like in our office, we're able to do a finger stick and get an A1C. Okay. Now let me go back, and I want to do this. I'm going to go back to the Libre, and for the Libre, I want to go back to my numbers here. These are my reports, and I can take a look at what it's saying my A1C surrogate, the glucose management indicator, is, and you see there 5.7. And in fact, let me not give it away. When I went to get my labs done, my last set of labs, it was pretty close. So we'll come back and we'll do that. I know I keep saying I'm going to do that show where we actually show those numbers, but I have another set of labs that are coming up here in just a little while. So we will definitely get to that. Okay, so that is what's been going on in terms of my blood sugars. You see that there. I love showing that because that is data that we can use to make decisions about what we are doing with our health. Okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and let's hop over and let's have a conversation. Well, the first thing, before I do that, if you've not yet looked at our show, Dwain Woode MD Live comes on Monday at 7 p.m. Central, right here on the channel. Make sure you get there and look at. We've been having an amazing time as we've walked through the season, and this season has been so far about how do we interpret what's going on in our bodies so that we don't overreact, and so that we understand the processes that are happening. Remember, understanding comes before design. Let me say it again. In order for us to design the right things for us to do, in order for us to understand what to do in terms of being health, we've got to understand. So understanding comes before design. And so over the course of the season so far, we've been walking through some very fundamental, there's that word, some very fundamental things that go on in our bodies that I want you to understand as we work on being healthy. All right. And so here I am, y'all, 48 hours into this week's fast, and just I'm having an amazing time. And so a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, why are we fasting? We're fasting because fasting is a tool that we use to reset the body, reset our body. Dysfunctional metabolism is at the core, and by fasting, we have the ability to target multiple things in the body that we want to improve. Fasting is not the only way to do those things, but fasting is an efficient, convenient, low-cost, simple way of going through the process of resetting the body. And so it is accessible to most people. Right now, where you are, you can decide that you're going to fast. There are a group of people that we've talked about, pregnant women, women who are breastfeeding, children, people who've had a history of eating disorders. Those folks need to make sure that they are connected and closely working with a healthcare team. I was going to say provider, but a healthcare team. Everyone else should also touch base with their healthcare team, but everyone else should be able to fast without a significant issue. Now, the only other reason that you may not be able to do that right now is you have got to talk to your healthcare provider about adjusting your medication, because that's the beauty of this. When you are fasting, and see, I'm getting into what fasting does. When you're fasting, fasting has the ability to lower blood sugars. So if you are fasting and you are on medication whose job it is to lower your blood sugar, you want to make sure that you adjust those medications, or you will end up having low blood sugars or hypoglycemia. Now, that is a positive, because that means that we are decreasing medication. Isn't that amazing? So fasting is helping to improve our body, reset our body, and it is a tool that we're using. So once again, not the only tool, but it's an efficient, low cost, easily accessible, majority of people can do it without any significant issue, and you can decide to do that right now. People ask me, well, what fast should I do? There's 12 and 12, there's 16-8, there's 1 meal a day, there's extended fast, there's alternate day fasting, there's time restricted eating. All of those are ways of fasting, and you get benefit actually from all types of fasting. There is not a fast that you can do that does not give benefit. Now, the thing is, what ultimately are you shooting for? For example, I do a 72-hour fast on a weekly basis. People say, well, why do you do 72? Why not 14? Why not 24? Why not 48? Now, we started out doing intermittent fasting. We did that for years. And there are some metabolic things in my history that when I started fasting, I wanted to correct. And I couldn't wait to get the benefit on a 16-8 or a 12 and 12. And so when we started fasting, I started fasting, we went into fasting because there were some things we were correcting. First of all, wanted to correct my weight. And if you guys have followed me, you've seen what my weight has done, right? So upwards of 187 plus pounds, dropping that down by 100 pounds. I needed to correct that. A1C that was up at above 14. Needed to correct that, brought that down. Vision issues, neuropathy. So there were some significant things that I needed to do personally that fasting came in when I started fasting, that fasting did. And so right now I fast for I'll tell you a couple of reasons. Number one, I fast because I'm still in the process of correcting metabolism. And we say that, right? We reset the metabolism. Number two, I fast for 72 hours so that I can come here and show you what happens to your body during the fast. So part of my fasting for 72 hours is there is a metabolic thing or metabolic things that I'm correcting, but also as I'm in the community, it makes sense. I want it to make sense to you when you see what's going on, when you hear the numbers, when people talk ketones, when people talk about low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, when people talk about monitoring, this is an example for you to look at. That's why I share my numbers so we can walk through that together. And that's why this space is amazing, because I love being in this space. This community you guys are great. So for those of you who are around fasting, you've thought about fasting, you're not quite sure about fasting, this is the place to come because we get to enjoy it. Okay. All right. So anyway, I wanted to preface what I'm going to say with that. Let me do this. I do see some of our community members out there, so let me say hi to them, hi to you really quickly, and then we'll get into talking a little bit more. Let's see. Let's get over here, and we want to do this one. Okay, so let's see. So we've got Jennifer. Jennifer, what's up? Jennifer says me. And so Jennifer's saying me because I asked for you to put in the comments whether you're fasting. So if you're fasting, drop me. And then Teresa says, hey, Doctor and Jennifer. What's up, Teresa? Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us. Steve, he says, hello, Jennifer. And hello, Teresa. What's going on? And then Jennifer is saying howdy. Teresa and howdy Steve. Hey, just amazing group that we have as we're in this space. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit. So what's going on here at 72 hours or 48 hours? I'm jumping ahead of myself. So what's going on here at 48 hours? So at 48 hours, as you know, we talked about the first 6 hours, and we've talked about that in the past, being the postprandial period, meaning that you are fasting, you are not eating. So your body is now breaking down the stuff that you just ate. So this is the first 6 to 7 hours. And then up to 24 to 36 hours, your body uses up the stored energy that's in the liver, the glycogen. So first it has to decrease the sugar that's in your blood. That's gone. Then it decreases the glycogen, so it uses up what's in the store. And then it goes in and it taps into the real store, right? So let's walk through this for a minute. So let's imagine that you go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store and you buy a bag of rice. You come home, you cook some of the rice, you eat it. The leftovers go in the refrigerator, but you didn't cook the whole bag, so the rest of it goes into the pantry. Okay? So what you are eating, what you just is on the stove, what you're eating is like being in the blood. So the body has to use that up first. Then the liver is kind of like the refrigerator. So you've put the leftovers in the refrigerator. When you finish eating, if you're hungry later on, you can go to the refrigerator and get that without any significant issue, right? Because you don't have to cook it again. It's already made. You get the idea? But then, if you use all that up, then you now have to go to the pantry, and the pantry has the bag of rice that you take out and then you cook again. So the body uses up what's the blood that's in the sugar that's in the bloodstream. Then it goes to the liver, the refrigerator, the leftovers. It uses that up. It usually takes about 24 to 36 hours. And then after that, then it goes to the pantry, the fat cells, and begin using that. So that beta oxidation comes after that's the breakdown of fat, comes after the body uses the glycogen. And so here at 48 hours, the glycogen has been used up. The sugar in the blood has been used up, and the body is in the process of accessing the sugar that's stored in the fat cells. And in order to do that, we go through this process where we're breaking the fat cells down. We're separating the components. So you guys have heard the term free fatty acids. Well, free fatty acids comes from a fat cell where the body is breaking it down, and it divides it into free fatty acids and into something called glycerol. And free fatty acids are the things that go to make ketones, and glycerol is what goes to make sugar. So even in your fast, your body has the ability to make sugar, which is why some people say, well, wait a minute, I've been fasting. I haven't eaten in like 2 days, and my blood sugar is still high. Well, the blood sugar is still high because the body still has the ability to make sugar. Because remember, the body runs, most of the systems run on sugar, glucose. So if the body couldn't make sugar, couldn't make glucose, when you stopped eating, we wouldn't wake up. We wouldn't be here because the body doesn't have the resources. But the body has an amazing way of still accessing and making sugar. So once it uses up the glycogen, now it goes to the fat cells and it breaks those down. Okay? Now, in that process of breaking it down, we get ketones. And ketones are an amazing group of molecules. Ketones do several things, and this is where I wanted to get, right? There are all kinds of other things we can talk about, but I wanted to get to ketones. Why are ketones good? Well, ketones are good, one, because ketones, when we're fasting, ketones will help to decrease our hunger and our cravings. Isn't that amazing? So the ketones are in the process of helping you in the fast. So they help you feel fuller longer. They help to regulate the hormones, and we'll talk about some of those in a minute, but it helps to blunt the cravings. So ketones, amazing. Ketones will slow the GI tract so you feel fuller longer. Amazing. Ketones. Ketones are great because the brain likes to use ketones. The brain likes to use ketones. And so when people are fasting and they get into the ketosis, where they shift from burning sugar, burning glycogen into ketosis, then a lot of people will describe that they feel more alert. They feel more connected. They seem like their thought processes are working much faster. And during this process of fasting, the body makes something called brain-derived natriuretic factor, which is like miracle grow for the brain. So if you're working on a project, you're like, man, I just can't get through it, the project, I can't make the connection, try fasting. Right? So amazing cognitive ability. The body, during the process of fasting, the ketones are beneficial to muscle preservation. Because when the body is using ketones, it doesn't have to burn muscle. Oh, this is a good one right here. It doesn't have to go to get protein to convert to sugar. And so often people will talk about muscle loss. And muscle loss is a real thing. Let's not negate it. It is a real thing that happens. But during the process of fasting, which is why fasting is amazing, and it's not just, hey, we're decreasing our calories. When we're fasting, we're not putting anything with calories, anything with sugar in. And so the body then switches, that metabolic switch that you hear people talk about, the body switches into saying, okay, I know that nothing is coming here in a minute, so I am burning the sugar, I'm burning the glycogen, and then I'm going to ketones, or I'm going to fat cells. Well, in that process, the ketones that are produced in the fast are protective for muscle. When you just simply decrease the amount of food that you eat, but then you're eating again, well, not regular times, but you're eating less at regular times, then the body is still in the process of normal metabolism. So that when the sugar goes down, the body says, hey, they're not giving more stuff. I don't have any ketones because we're still putting stuff in. So if I don't have ketones and I'm using up what's the glycogen that's there, then yeah, let me go burn some protein. Let me go break down some protein and let's make sugar. So ketones, amazing. Ketones come as a result of the body burning fat. Oh, come on, let's stop right there. What does that mean then? If ketones are coming from body burning fat, what do you think happens to the fat cells as the body burns the fat? Well, the fat cells get smaller. What's that called? That's called weight loss. You see that? Do you see the process? And that's why, and that's just one of the things that goes on in the process of fasting. So when you're fasting, you are actually hitting multiple systems within the body that are beneficial. Now, let's bring this home for some of our diabetics and our pre-diabetics and those people who have fatty liver and all those things. When you are fasting, you're not putting any sugar in. No calories, no sugar. When you're fasting, the body has to use the insulin that's making already, and it uses it more efficiently. That's called decreased insulin resistance. It's called insulin sensitivity that's going up. It's called better blood sugars, better A1C. It's called bringing the A1C down. If your doctor has told you that you're diabetic, or you're pre-diabetic, or any of those things along the metabolic spectrum, this is an amazing way of moving in the direction of being healthier. Beautiful, beautiful. So I see a lot of people who come and they talk about fasting, and people who are interested in fasting, but they're not quite sure about fasting. People who say, well, my cousin fasts, but I'm not sure how that works. If you are interested in fasting, this is a great place to come. You get to hang out with, you get to hang out. We get to hang out with each other and learn about what goes on in our body and in our fast. And you get to see what I eat for the last time before I get into my fast. Come join us on Tuesdays, and you'll see that meal. Okay. Now, if you're interested in fasting and you want to know how do I fast safely. What type of fast should I do? Even if you're fasting now and you want to make sure that you brush up, if you go to DwainWoodeMD.com/fasting, so DwainWoodeMD.com/fasting, you can download a resource that we've provided. It's a wonderful way of helping you walk through or walk down this process. And when you sign up, you'll get 4 or 5 emails from me over the course of the next 21 to 30 days after you sign up for that. And that will help spur your thoughts. There's some pointers that I want to make. There's some questions that I ask. Not anything new that you're going to have to make dramatic changes, but just a way to help you begin thinking through the process. And then make sure you join us here as we go through our fasting on a weekly basis, and definitely make sure you join us for Dwain Woode MD Live on Mondays. Okay? All right, so I saw some people who said yes, they saw me, they're fasting. Congratulations for those of you who ended your fast yesterday, for those of you who ended the fast today, and then of course, for those of you who are planning to start the fast now, who started the fast and are going to end it tomorrow, after your 24 hours. Okay, so several people also have been fasting for 24, 48, 72 hours. So if you've been fasting for one of those extended periods, I want you to drop in the comments the number of hours that you're fasting, or the number of hours that you have fasted. Thank you for coming through. Yeah. All right. So y'all, we are all excited, and I say, you hear me talk at the beginning and I say at the end. This is Dr. Dwain Woode, and I love the community. And I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to see the benefits that you're getting in your health. Glad to see that you are taking charge of your health. Glad to see that you are understanding your health. Because remember, understanding comes before design. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. Go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted. I'm here because I want you to show up intentionally and consistently for those special occasions in your life, and for the special people in your life, and for the special dreams in your life. You don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a strategy you can trust, a plan you can follow, and the support and determination to show up every single time. Thank you for being here. We've got video from the vault coming Saturday at 9 p.m. Central. This Week in Review, 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, Central Time, right here on the channel. And then we'll be right back here for Dwain Woode MD Live at 7 p.m. Central on Monday. Keep an eye out for our Foundations episode, which is coming out, should be coming out today. All right. And that will set the pace for what we do on our show on Monday. All right, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.